All right, give it a few more minutes for people to join before we get started. For anybody that has already joined, welcome. We'll get going here in just a few minutes. Just going to give everybody a chance to log on. One quick item that I'll bring up for anybody that has already joined us. We welcome any and all questions, so feel free to ask those as we are going through the virtual today. All that we ask is that you please use the Q&A tab rather than the chat. The chat can sometimes lag and we don't always receive things in real time. So that Q&A tab that you can pull down and put your questions in is going to be the most efficient way for us to answer the questions right away. And we'll just give it 2 more minutes before we get started for anybody who's maybe jumping on their lunch break to be able to watch this with us, or is just running a minute or so behind. So dreary outside. I'm ready for the spring. Ready for that yellow thing in the sky to come back.
I agree. It's time.
All right, just 1 more minute. For everybody who's joined us, welcome. We're going to get started here in just a minute. Perfect. So I think we're in a good spot. So we can go ahead and get started. So thank you everybody for joining us today for the virtual. We are going to be touring an Alexander plan that was just finished in Washougal, Washington. Really quickly before we introduce ourselves, I do want to mention that we highly encourage questions throughout the presentation, and we'd love to get all those answered for you. We would just really prefer if you use the Q&A tab to submit any of those questions. The chat portion, it's a little laggy, so we just want to make sure to get everybody's questions addressed today. So please use that Q&A section. And with that, my name is Sarah. I am a home ownership counselor with Adair out of the Woodland branch. So I service Southwest Washington. So that would be Cowlitz County, Clark County, Skamania, Klickitat. I also do Wahkiakum and Pacific. And I'm here out of this branch and service that whole area. And then I'll go ahead and let my counterpart introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Katie Smith. I'm a homeownership counselor out of Adair's Creswell office, which is kind of Eugene, Oregon-y area. And then we're also all the way over to the coast and south to Bandon.
Wonderful. So the home we're showing today is the Alexander floor plan. This floor plan is 1,950 square feet. This floor plan does feature 4 bedrooms and 2 full baths. We scroll down a little bit further, and this is the floor plan we're going to be looking at today. So very much open concept, has a great layout for families who are looking for an adequate amount of bedrooms without necessarily putting a very large square footage footprint on there. We've got the 2-car garage, which is going to come standard on all all but 2 of our plans. That's already going to be in the base price. So really great function on this plan in regards to a very large kitchen space with the cabinets. We've got a pantry on this plan, which is always a perk. And then but the hallway utility room, which is fantastic. And then the bedrooms there in the front and the primary that lives in the back. This plan can come in a handful of different exteriors. So we give these exterior options to customers to kind of determine what they'd like their curb appeal to be on their home. At the same time, this is also an area where people can kind of pick and choose their budget, as each exterior does come in at a little bit different of a base price based on the materials used on the exterior of the home. And so if any of you are currently working with a home ownership counselor or want to get the process started, any home ownership counselor would be able to go over those differences with you and kind of walk through those different price points. When you're looking at them on the website, you'll click on the classic, and then you can just scroll down a little bit, and that's going to tell you everything that's going to come in that exterior. We jump up to the traditions, and this is where we start to get some tiered gables, difference in siding, and some trim introduced. So that is part of the reason why we see those coming in at a different price point. This is the standard floor plan. So one thing I will say about Adair is all of our floor plans can be modified. So we do give our customers a lot of freedom to tweak the floor plans in ways that will make it more functional for themselves and their families. So adding additional windows, moving walls, altering items in that aspect are completely fair game. You would work through those with your homeownership counselor to understand what changes you're looking to make on the plan. Of course, some changes, they're going to come at a cost, some changes are not, and some changes might come at a credit. It just really depends on what you're looking to do to alter the plan to make it more functional.
Sarah, we have a couple quick questions if now's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
When they're looking at the website and they see the square footage, is that including the garage square footage?
That's a great question. So all of the square footages on our website are going to be for conditioned living space. So the square footage we're seeing on the website is for the home only. It does not include the garage. The garage would be in addition to any square footage that you're seeing listed on the website.
Perfect. And then the next question, the website is showing base prices. Are those accurate?
That's a good question. So our base prices on our website are always up to date. So any prices that you're seeing on the website are currently accurate for what the base price of our home is. And that base price is pretty all-inclusive. The home is going to be move-in ready. It really just comes down to what your design preferences are for the home and what your budget is going to allocate for any kind of upgrades in the home. Otherwise, the house is move-in ready with that base price. It includes interior and exterior paint. You're going to get a complete central heating and cooling system. You're going to receive appliances, flooring, all of those items. And then when working with a home ownership counselor, that's when you then can modify the plan and add items or just design standard options to kind of get that final price for your home.
Perfect. Okay, we're caught up.
Wonderful. So this is the standard plan. The home we will be looking at today has a few modifications from the standard. And so we'll go ahead, we'll take a look at their floor plan. So the first thing you'll notice is the garage is now on the other side of the home compared to what we saw on the website. All of our homes can mirror each other. So that garage placement is really going to come down to your property and what side of the home you would prefer to see that located on in regards to your driveway access and those different elements. There's no cost difference when it comes to mirroring the plan so that they will both come at that same base price. It's just meant for you to have more flexibility with your site. The first thing I'll point out on this floor plan that we did modify is the kitchen. So on the website, you'll see the floor plan has what we would call an angled island. And so that angled island just was something that the customer, she wasn't a big fan on. She was very much focused on symmetry and having clean lines in the home. So turning that island from an angled island to a rectangle island was something that was important. So we went ahead and made that change. Another item you might see is we extended the pantry. On the website, you do see that the pantry is already included. However, we pushed it out to come flush with this wall between the great room and the hallway to the utility room, which allowed them for more storage space in this pantry and also allowed us to introduce beautiful French doors as the opening to that pantry. We also did a few modifications on windows. So on the standard plan, you can see that there are no windows currently placed on this side of the home. The customers that I worked with, they are on a couple acres and it's all forest. They don't really have any direct neighbors. So they really wanted to be able to open up this wall to view their yard and kind of introduce an outdoor gathering space later down the road. So we did add a handful of windows and then a beautiful atrium door, which is a glass door that we'll see in the video, just to be able to capture their view that they have on the property. Otherwise, we kept a lot of items pretty standard. So we didn't make any changes to any of the bedrooms. This utility room is standard. So we didn't make any changes there. The only thing we did add into the primary bathroom would be a door that goes out into the backyard. These customers are doing a hot tub out on the back of their home. And so they wanted to be able to get out of the hot tub and go directly into their bathroom. And that is why we added the door there. Okay, do we have any questions on this floor plan before we jump into the window or the into the video?
There's nothing so far. I think we're okay.
Perfect. So we'll go ahead, we'll jump over to the video. A few things that I'll touch on before we get started is this home was put into construction prior to Adair absorbing all interior and exterior paint. So this customer, when they signed contracts, they were to be in charge of their painting. They could choose to hire somebody to paint their home, or they could choose to paint the home themselves. So that's why we're kind of seeing the two different colors. They did get started, but then they realized that they should likely wait until the spring, given that we do use all primed hardy cement board. This siding on the exterior of the home will be completely fine, waiting until the spring to be painted. Okay. Another item I'll touch on is this is what a site realistically looks like when a customer moves in. So we have moved a handful of dirt on the property to be able to allocate for any septic systems, any trenching of utilities to the location of the home, and then of course the dig out of the footprint. And so that does, result in something like this. Customers of course have the freedom to make that look however they want. So if you wanted to come in and lay sod before moving in, or you wanted to have straw laid down or anything like that, that's completely within your realm to do. It's just not something that this customer chose to do for their property. Okay, so we'll go ahead, we'll get started. And while we're watching the video, feel free to pop in any questions on any of the items you see. I am going to pause it here for just a quick second. When I first watched this video, this kind of made me chuckle a little bit, but you are seeing a different flooring here in front of the door. This is not permanent flooring. This is extra sheet vinyl from their job that they had rolled out in front of the front door to protect their beautiful luxury vinyl plank flooring from any dirt or any debris that would be brought in. So you're seeing it looks a little funky, but that's not how the plan really is. So I just want to highlight that it's purely there to protect their floors.
There, we did have one quick question on the exterior.
Mhm.
There was a piece of, it looks like a wood that's installed along the side of the house.
Correct.
Can you
So
tell
I'll
us what
kind of
that
go
is?
back. Yeah, so that is a great question. Okay, so when we look at this home straight on, we can look at the ground and we see that there is a little bit of a slope present from the left side of the home carrying over to the right. Okay, so these customers did not decide to excavate the property flat because they really wanted an elevated deck. So we left the ground as is and poured one part of their foundation higher than the other portion to allocate for that slope in the property. And that piece of wood that you're seeing, it's actually going to carry all the way around their house. That is what's called deck ledger board. So Adair doesn't specialize in decks, but we can set the home up for success for a deck to be installed after the home is completed. And so in order to set a customer up for success, we install this deck ledger board. This is the structural component that is going to allow you to tie that deck directly into the structure of the home. So that is placed there for the customer to build the deck later down the road. It's also something that's coming in the spring, and they will actually have a complete wraparound deck that's going to carry around the whole home.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll kind of jump back a little bit. Perfect. So we're walking into this home. We're seeing those beautiful windows and that beautiful door. Oh, I'm gonna just, so sorry, gonna rewind just a little. So this is that beautiful atrium door. These customers went with an atrium versus a French door because they are a little different. They look very similar, but this customer wanted this side to be fixed glass and then this side to be functional. So this portion of the door on the left is the part that opens. And they chose to do that just because they do experience a little bit of wind on their property. So an atrium door allows you to have a single fixed location to completely close the door, whereas a French door has a dual pin system. So they come together and in wind, they will rattle a little bit. That's just the way that that door is set up. There's really no way to prevent it. And they thought that might bother them. So they decided to go with the atrium door. We're also seeing a beautiful 9-foot plate height in this house, which is fantastic because you're going to notice a lot of large windows. And so for us, our 9-foot plate height package, it is all inclusive of a handful of items. So when a customer chooses to move forward with that plate height option, your garage door is going to grow by a foot. All of your windows and sliding glass doors are going to grow by a foot. So we see that that slider is flush with the windows. An atrium door won't innately upgrade unless we choose to do so on that window, as they are built to spec for every home. But your kitchen cabinets also grow by 6 inches as well. So we kind of give the whole home an uplift when we do that 9-foot plate package. Okay, so we're coming into that kitchen. We're seeing that beautiful rectangle island that we transitioned. These are our standard appliances. We're getting a really great shot here. So they just went with the appliances that are in the base price of our homes. They are a stainless steel product in Whirlpool. They are going to come automatically electric in the base price. And so you see this stove range glass top combo here with the hood vent sitting above. They also went with a shaker door painted cabinet. So this is a beautiful painted cabinet in our anonymous gray color. And it's actually really unique. Even though this customer painted their own home, they actually sourced the same Sherwin-Williams color on the cabinets to match all of their trim and interior doors. So you're going to see this color from the kitchen carry through the rest of the home as well. Another unique thing I'll mention is we're not seeing any backsplash in this kitchen. Okay, so backsplash is something that it doesn't necessarily have to come with the home. If customers would prefer to see something else in there and don't necessarily want to upgrade it right away. So backsplash is something that we can delete from the home, and then that allows you to move in, get a really great feeling for your style, and then come in and put a beautiful backsplash up that sort of matches where you're wanting to take the aesthetic of the home.
Sarah, we're getting a handful of questions about this
Perfect.
kitchen.
Yeah.
So first one on that backsplash note, actually perfect segue. Can they choose to take their solid surface and just go all the way up with the solid surface?
Great question. Yes, actually. So it's something that I'm doing on a home right now. So if you wanted to have a granite countertop and take that granite countertop up, you can, or quartz, whatever you're preferring. Some people will do it just 6 inches to kind of give yourself a really nice lip there just on the edge. That's really popular in bathrooms, given that the mirror then will sit right on top. But in the kitchen, yes, you can take a solid surface countertop all the way up to the base of the cabinets if that's what you're wanting to see.
And if they're not, aside from solid surface, just
Mhm.
confirming Adair does have
Yeah.
other options if they're not wanting to install their own.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they do have a lot. I like to say that we've kind of got a backsplash galore.
I would
All
agree.
different colors, sizes, shapes. I mean, really unique stuff. So absolutely, we have all of that in any of our design centers. So if you've had a meeting with a homeownership counselor, or maybe you haven't, but you're interested, I would definitely say reach out and try to get an in-person meeting set up, because every branch does have a design center. Not every branch has a full model home, but every branch is going to have a design center where you can look through our product, touch our product, compare this cabinet color to this flooring to this countertop. A lot of freedom.
Okay. And then this next customer, they have their own 48-inch range, and they're wondering if they can provide that themselves.
That is a really great question, and we do get that quite a bit. So when it comes to customer pre-ordering items, or maybe already having items, or having a vision for what their kitchen wants, what they want it to look like, we're really flexible. And so that is where that modification on any of our plans comes in. So if you already own the product, what your homeownership counselor would guide you to do is we would deduct whatever appliance that you're looking to provide yourself. And that deduction would come at a credit. We would give back the cost of whatever appliance you're foregoing. And then your homeownership counselor would ask for a spec sheet. So this would have like the model number and the dimensions present. So if you've got a 36-inch range, a 48-inch range, what does that look like? How can we maneuver the cabinets to be able to fit that unit? Is it gas? Do we need a higher powered outlet? Where should the outlet be located? So we'll customize all of that for that appliance that you're looking to bring in the home, and it will be set up for it to be able to just be pushed up next to the wall and fit like it was already always there. The only thing Adair will not do for you if you already own that product and you're supplying it yourself is Adair will not install that specific product, but we will set up the whole home to be ready to house that product.
Perfect. And then one more, which I have a hunch you're probably going to talk about this one anyways, but this customer doesn't want to have to dust above their cabinet. So they're wondering if they can just do cabinet all the way to the ceiling.
Yes, absolutely. That is very common. Some customers will do just really large upper cabinets to go from that starting height all the way up to the ceiling. And some customers will actually introduce a second tier of cabinets if you're going for a specific look. So that would be all items that you talk through with your homeownership counselor to really allow us to get a sense of your style and your goals for the home. And then from there, we'll be able to customize whether or not you just want those very clean and all one flush piece going up, or if maybe you're looking to introduce a little bit of modern farmhouse style and want a second tier of cabinets up there. But yes, all of that is within possible reach with Adair.
Amazing. Okay, we're caught up on questions.
Wonderful. I love the questions, so definitely keep them coming, guys. We're seeing that beautiful flooring. So these customers did go with a luxury vinyl plank flooring. Theirs that they chose is actually my favorite. I like to think maybe I had some influence on their selection. This luxury vinyl plank, it is a great product. It is going to be waterproof. It's going to be scratch resistant. It's going to live in your home for a very long time. So it is an upgrade you can't go wrong with. It adds such a good flair. I mean, we just got a whole new shipment. So, I mean, I want to say we probably are going to have like 20 to 30 options available, and every color, every style. So it's really popular right now, but it's also a really great product for the longevity as well. One thing I'll touch on real quick is these customers, they did go with a quartz. So this is a quartz product. It's called Sparkling White. But one thing I'll touch on is when any of our customers do upgrade to either a granite or a quartz product, all undermount sinks then become automatic. So in the kitchen, they didn't pay extra for this sink. It comes hand in hand with the quartz, upgrade that they chose. You get to choose between a single bowl or a double bowl, and those are just automatic. Of course, we do have other sinks like farmhouse sinks or larger squared off stainless steel sinks, lots of options. It's just those are another tier. So they would be an upgrade, whereas this single bowl stainless steel sink automatically comes when you do a quartz or a granite. And it's the same in the bathrooms. So I don't believe they carried this product all the way through the home. But if you did, you would receive an oval undermount sink. One other thing I'll touch on, we're seeing this weird cabinet over here. So something that I will mention is we can do glass ready cabinets. And so that's what we're seeing in this kitchen. So Adair will build out the cabinet per the style that you're looking to have. It's just Adair doesn't specialize in that glass or the glass cutting. So any customer would do a glass ready cabinet and then bring in a third party upon move-in to fit that glass custom to their cabinets. And there's the pantry. So we're seeing that right there on the end with the beautiful double doors. We're now going to segue down the hallway. And we are turning into the utility room first. So when we talked about Adair's base price and how the home is really all inclusive, there's only 3 items that aren't going to come in the base price of the home. And that's going to be your washer and dryer, like we're seeing here in this house, and your refrigerator. So those are the only 3 things that Adair is not going to provide. We're going to see over here, this is their electric furnace. So like I mentioned earlier, the home does come with complete central air. So we are seeing this furnace tucked in behind in this utility room. Some customers will choose to close that off in a closet. That's something we can do. Some customers will leave it open like we're seeing here. It's just really going to be dependent on what you'd like to see. Okay, we've got a nice closet here in the hallway. That's actually a kind of a 2-section closet. One portion of it is going to be a shelf and pole to hang up coats and everything. And then the other portion is actually going to be 4 MDF shelves, which is great for linens and towels and cleaning products. So that closet right there is 50-50, which is very functional for your storage. We're gonna jump in here. So they carry that customer supply backsplash throughout. So we're getting a peek at what they're gonna go with in the bathrooms, which I think is gorgeous. And then this bathroom is completely standard. So they did not do any upgrades in this space. I wonder if I can back up just a little bit. Is it gonna show us? No. So we do have two different floorings. There might come a time where I'm able to show you what that transition looks like, but we've got their beautiful luxury vinyl plank rolling down the hallway. And then this is actually just a standard flooring in this bathroom here. So that is just going to be a sheet vinyl that we're seeing. We do have just a standard cabinet in here. So Adair does have a handful of cabinets that are going to be in the base price. They come in 3 different door styles. So that's the way that the cabinet is aesthetically shaped and looks. And then they're going to come in 6 different wood stains. So in this home, we're seeing the shaker door with the bourbon stain, which is very, very pretty to just already be in the base price, and wood is classic. So you can never go wrong. And then we do have a standard laminate in here. This is our pearl soapstone laminate. It looks very much just like a poured concrete. And then we're just going for a simple look in here. So it flows very nicely, especially because the flooring does have a little bit of a gray tone that's going to pull out that countertop.
Sarah, did they do their own drawer pulls?
Yes, so that's a great question. So we do have standard cabinet knobs for our cabinets. Customers can, of course, choose to upgrade those if they like, but much like the backsplash, that is also something that we can choose to deduct from the house, and the customer can supply their own. So yes, you're seeing their handles on all of these cabinets. So they put all of those in themselves. And then we're gonna see, this is just a tub shower combo. This is a single fiberglass unit that comes with a shower bar. That's gonna be in that secondary bath. And so very, very functional for kids, which is what that bathroom is going to be used for. Something else I'll point out, the customer did have me leave a few light locations without any units present. So that's another thing that we can really kind of customize the home to set the customer up for success, would be to pre-wire at lighting locations so that the electrical is there and the switch is there, but then the customer can source their own unit, which is what we're seeing here. Very common. We just have to keep in mind any sort of code in regards to fire exits and those kinds of things, because our hands are tied on any emergency exits. They need to have lights. So we're coming in here. This is one of the bedrooms. We're seeing a standard carpet in here. So they didn't go with an upgraded flooring in this bedroom. Very, very nice in regards to a handful of things. I'm going to pause really. We'll pause in a minute. I'm going to show you guys the trim, because they also didn't upgrade the trim in this house. Single window. Looks like this kid is maybe setting up how they want the feng shui of their bedroom to go. But also gives you an idea for the good size. You know, this is a queen size bed in a children's room, so they do have quite a bit of space, which is good to see. And then we're going to come in to another bedroom. Once again, just standard carpet. And so does look really great, especially with the gray trim and the gray accents on the floor. So all the colors, they do flow really nicely in this house. One thing while we're here that you're gonna notice is all of the windows on this house are all the same in regards to how they functionally open. Okay, so in the world, there are a handful of designs for windows. This customer wanted all of their windows to open from the bottom up, because they're going to have special what do you call that? They come down, but they can automatically just push them up. So they're not on a string, they're like on that ready-made system. So they're gonna pull those curtains down, and they wanted to be able to crack the window and crack that curtain and not have the curtain blow in the wind, because the window opens side to side. So that was another functional thing that was important to them. So you can have a single hung, which is what we're seeing here, or they can slide open. Those are all in the realms of what you'd like to see in your house.
Speaking of your painted trim that I love so much,
Mhm.
We have a question about, are there trim color options that come standard?
Yeah, so I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, on most, because Adair does now paint. So on all of our standard schemes for interior paint, the trim is going to be white. You could, of course, ask us to do something different. We do use all Sherwin-Williams paints. But then if we are outsourcing a paint, that then would come at a cost. And the reason why it would come at a cost is because a lot of our products are purchased in bulk. And so we're able to put that bulk discount onto our customers to bring our prices down, which is great. But when we outsource, say we want a blue, or I mean, really the sky's the limit depending on what you want. And we have to purchase that paint from Sherwin-Williams. Because it's not a standard color we carry, we then need to purchase it at retail. And so then that difference in the cost is then what the customer should expect to see in regards to that upgrade. So now we're coming into the master bedroom here. So the master bedroom is at the very end on this plan. We walk in, the crawl space is open. They were finishing up some things under the house, so it's just a great way to see where we place those. But in here, this is standard, so we don't do any wire shelves in any of our homes. So you are going to have a solid MDF shelf here in your closet, and then a solid pole to hang all of your clothes on. This is going to be standard in all of our closets, even the ones we saw in the bedroom. And then we don't actually get to see the inside of the pantry, but something else I'll point out is that pantry already has 4 MDF shelves built into it as well. So no wire shelving in the pantry either. Okay, we're gonna get a nice span of the bedroom here. We already got the trampoline set up. It's very important. To have it placed. Good outlets. So even just like right here in this small span, we're seeing 3 different outlets and a TV out or phone outlet, sorry. So all of our plans are to code. There's going to be great functionality for outlets. They're all going to be 6 feet apart. But for myself, when I'm working with my customers, I do challenge my customers before we set their plan in stone to spend about a week in their current house thinking of all the places they wish they had an outlet, but they don't have an outlet. So do you want an outlet in your pantry to be able to have appliances in there? Do you want an outlet in your walk-in closet to be able to iron or plug a scent in? You know, those are all things that I try to push customers to think about, because when you're building a home, it's so much easier, and it's a lot of the allure is to just be able to set it up exactly how you want it, which is fantastic. Okay, so this bathroom is actually really functional, which is fantastic. We're seeing a standard vinyl here on the floor. It looks gorgeous. You know, it's nothing like what it used to be, which is awesome. So very good tones here that are carrying through the home. We've got a standard fiberglass insert right here located. One thing I'll point out is when a customer moves forward with a fiberglass insert currently, a shower door is included. These customers just had signed their contracts a little while ago, and that wasn't part of our base price, whereas it is now. Adair's always trying to be ever evolving, always trying to include things that customers are really wanting to see. So that is why we include shower doors now on the fiberglass units. And then this is a good picture of the trim. So this is our standard 2 1/4 colonial trim that we're seeing throughout the house. The customer didn't pay extra for this. This already comes all inclusive. Gonna come in, we're gonna see that door that they added. So they didn't want just a normal solid door like you see on the bedrooms and the closets. They wanted to be able to let some natural light in. So we went with what's called a half light door. So this has a beautiful window up here on the top to be able to let in natural light. And as you can see, no neighbors peeping in, so that's good. And then they're gonna be able to use that functionally for that hot tub. All of our primary suites are going to come with dual sinks, so no extra here. You'll already have double vanities in that base price of the home. And then we're seeing those beautiful standard cabinets once again in this bathroom. They didn't pay extra. One other thing I'll point out is we did do a whole house oil rub bronze upgrade. So you're seeing that oil rub bronze in a handful of areas. So of course, here in the sinks, these are our traditional style oil rub bronze faucets, which carry through in every aspect of the home. We also have all oil rub bronze lighting. So we want to make sure that customers, if you've got an aesthetic, we're carrying it all the way through and don't have what we would call like mismatched products. So if your plumbing is oil rub bronze, do you want your lighting to be the same or different? What does that look like? And then all of their handles on all of their doors as well is oil rub bronze. So that's a complete house upgrade from the fixtures to the light to the plumbing. Okay, and then just another great shot, there's that deck ledger. So this just gives you a good idea of how they're going to carry that all the way around the home. This is that great room wall that we saw with their beautiful atrium door. So they're going to be able to walk out that door, just walk out onto their deck and be able to enjoy their property. A lot of great trees, very open. So they definitely wanted to be able to capture that outdoor space with their deck.
And I'm assuming that what we were seeing there with the plywood over the doors was to pass for finals.
Correct. Yes. Okay. So when it comes to the home being finished, we go through a handful of final inspections, final walkthroughs, all of those items, and we are actively working towards receiving a certificate of occupancy from your jurisdiction. So county jurisdiction, you'll hear that word a lot, but they mean the same thing. So what being a power oversees the rules of your property. So for these particular customers, they are in Clark County. So Clark County is one of the many counties I work out of. And in order to receive certificate of certificate of occupancy in Clark County, any door that is higher than 18 inches off the ground either needs to have a stairway put in place or needs to be blocked off like we're seeing in this picture. The customer didn't want to go through with doing stairs because they know they want to build a deck. So the easiest way to pass in the eyes of the county was to put up these blocks so that they aren't deemed as fire exits. That's the purpose of the stairs, for emergency exits. So this was needed in order for that customer to get certificate of occupancy without doing the steps and without doing the deck right away.
Perfect. We have a handful of questions.
Perfect.
One about this shot we're at right now. So do the great room windows slide up?
Yeah, so these are actually very unique windows. And so this is a window that has a large fixed section at the top and then has what's called a 12-inch vent. So this at the bottom is the portion that opens and it's 12 inches or 1 foot high. And so that's the functionality that you'll open, whereas this portion on the top does not open. It just is a fixed window.
Perfect. And then I don't know if you want to just let it play so they have something neat to look at while I ask you. I'm going to rapid fire you some questions.
Absolutely. And then we'll start over from the beginning. So we'll just kind of let it play in the background as we're going through these questions.
I like it. So someone is asking, so they have to provide their own refrigerator. Can they request a water line for their ice maker, etc.?
Perfect. So that actually is already going to come inclusive. We're already going to do that for you in the base price. And that's the same for all those appliances. So we are going to have an electrical outlet there in that fridge location and a pre-plumbed outlet for your refrigerator to have an ice maker. And then we're going to pre-plumb for the washer and dryer. So that's already going to be there hot and cold. You're going to have a stainless steel recessed dryer vent so that your dryer can sit flush with the wall. Those are already included in the base price.
Perfect. Plug and play. And then can Adair do a closet organizer system or leave a clean slate so a customer can do their own closet organizer?
Yeah, great question. So we would lean towards the clean slate. So that is the best way for the customer to be able to come in, measure that closet, determine how they want it to look for their organization system, and then set it up. So we see it a lot on the walk-in closets. Absolutely, we would just leave that as a blank slate, and then you would be able to come in and customize it any way you want.
Perfect. And then that crawl space hatch that we saw, this is from the same person in the closet. Can they move that so it's not in the way of whatever system they plan to install?
Absolutely, you can move the crawl spaces. The one thing I will say on this particular plan is the master suite is in one of the corners of the home. So you'll be able to clearly see where we have those crawl spaces allocated on there. We do try to set you up for the most success possible, and we try to put them in locations that are either on one side of the home or on our larger plans. We're actually going to have 2 crawl spaces so that you don't have to crawl from one end of the home all the way to the other. But yes, you can move them. I would just try to keep functionality in mind when moving them if they ever need to access their crawl space.
Perfect. And this one, I like this person's style. So she's saying, what are the limitations on modifying? For example, can we turn one of those bedrooms into a closet for the primary suite?
Absolutely. So when we mentioned earlier about modifying, I mean, really the sky's the limit. We can do just about anything. But like I said earlier, it really comes down to like budget and what the vision is compared to what we can spend. So we want to make sure that those are lining up, and your homeownership counselor is going to make sure to do a really great job of keeping you within budget, but still being able to give you what you want in the home. When transferring a bedroom into something else, there's a couple of things that we just want to keep in mind. This home is a 4-bedroom home, so I would have no concern with turning a bedroom into a full closet or making it a giant master suite with a beautiful bathroom and a beautiful walk-in closet. I mean, do whatever, we can do whatever. When we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and we want to transition one of those rooms into an office, a craft room, a walk-in closet, whatever it is, the only thing I'm going to stress is your appraisal value. Because then we are taking that home from a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home to a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home. And that's going to bring down the appraisal value of the house, which might affect your loan in regards to needing to bring more cash to the table, or however that looks for that appraisal. That's the only thing I would caution on. But if it's a 4-bedroom and we're transitioning it to a 3-bedroom, like what would be the case on the Alexander that we're viewing today, would have no concern with that.
Perfect. And then can Adair do wood burning fireplaces? And they're not specifying freestanding versus an insert, so I think maybe cover both.
Yeah, so Adair can do all the fireplaces. So we can do electric, we can do gas, we can do what's called a freestanding wood stove. That is the ones that, and I'll play it again just because we've got so many good questions. So that wood stove is the ones that sit sort of on the legs and have the chimney that go up through the ceiling and goes out. And then Adair can also do a wood burning insert. So that is that very rustic look of the mantle being bumped out from the wall and the fireplace sitting in there with a beautiful sitting bench, and then everything lives in the wall. So Adair can do all of those. Of course, each one of those does come at a different cost in regards to not only the product, but whatever your vision is. And so that is really where that homeownership counselor is going to come in and kind of let you know what, okay, we want a freestanding and we want to keep it very simple. Okay, this is the cost we're looking at. Some branches, not every branch, I'm going to stress this a lot. That's the importance of working with a home ownership counselor, can also do pellet stoves. And so it really comes down to what you want to see, what design you want to see, and then we can price it from there.
And then from the same person, if they have their own freestanding fireplace that they want us to install, will we do that?
So that's where it gets tricky, and that is where Adair will draw the line. Okay, so your home does come with a pretty extensive warranty. And so with that, Adair does not install any customer supplied items. Okay, so when you already have a wood stove and you want that in the house, we actually, it's tricky because we won't put it in the home for you. Okay, so then, and we won't leave a hole in the ceiling for you to place that wood stove in. Okay, so that is something that we cannot set you up for success for and be able to receive a certificate of occupancy from the county. So if you're wanting your already supplied unit in the home, that would result in you needing to install that after you move in. But once again, and this is all things that your homeownership counselor would coach you on, it gets tricky because your roof is part of your structural warranty. And if you put a hole in your roof after you move in, and then something 4 years down the road happens, it is very logistically hard to know whose fault it is. And that is just reality. Okay, so you walk a fine line avoiding your structural warranty if you are going to put a hole in the ceiling. Another option would be to possibly sell the unit you currently have for what you paid for it, and then purchase a unit through Adair and have us do the whole system for you. That question comes up a lot, so, but it's very tricky because yeah, and it crosses a whole bunch of things. Like we won't install your plumbing fixtures, we won't install your flooring that you've purchased outside of us. Anything that you already have, that's kind of where Adair draws the line. We do not install any customer supplied items.
Okay, and then this is a two-parter, but it's a fun one. So how many standard vinyl floors are there to choose from, and can we do a different one in each room?
Okay, so the standard sheet vinyls, so we have a handful of choices. I would say, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say we probably have between 12 and 18 options for the sheet vinyls. And we're seeing just like wood style sheet vinyl in this home. We also have sheet vinyl that looks like tile and all kinds of ornate sort of designs. Yes, you can put it in you can put a different one in every room. That's totally within your realm. However, what that would look like is there'd be a cost to that, because with each sheet vinyl, that would be deemed kind of as separate orders from our suppliers. Okay, and so there would be sort of a secondary order fee tagged on. Typically, it's about $250, but that's something your homeownership counselor would be able to let you know. But that's what you would be looking at to have a variety of sheet vinyls in different areas of the home. One other thing I will mention is our standard sheet vinyl. It is going to just come in a 14 long span because that is the size of the roll. So if you are looking to have a standard sheet vinyl, say in the great room and the kitchen, that we won't do because that's a larger than 14 feet. And does not matter how perfect anybody is or how top of the line your installer is, but when you put a seam on a seam for sheet vinyl, it's never going to hold up long term. So Adair won't do sheet vinyl in that large of a space. In this home, you're seeing a great secondary option. So when it comes to upgraded flooring, like we're seeing in this home, this is a luxury vinyl plank. So this customer paid to upgrade to this flooring. When you pay to upgrade to a flooring, that then is on an a la carte system. So that a la carte system means is you could pay to have a different one of this upgraded flooring anywhere and everywhere in the house, and it would all be the same price. That one you can pick and choose and have that freedom. It's just those standard products.
Perfect. And this next question from Peter, this is a perfect segue. So do you take clients with zero down payment?
Yeah, so we have zero down options. So we do have our own in-house lender. They're called Adair Financial Services. And for any customer who already owns their property, that zero down payment is an automatic perk of owning your property, because that we're going to take the appraisal value of that property and leverage it as your equity position and use it for the down payment. Okay, so if you purchase property at 200,000 and you've paid it off, or let's just say hypothetically you only owe 100,000, we're still going to leverage that as your down payment because you already have that equity there. If you are using a loan to make your project all-inclusive, because they do exist. So a construction loan would allow you to purchase land, pay for any development, and pay for the home. And we would view that as an all-inclusive project cost. When we do that, we do sometimes see 5% required as a down payment. It will all depend upon the appraisal results. So once Adair and your homeownership counselor finishes designing your home and pricing it out, the bank then will take that design and what you've included in the home, and they will run an appraisal in the area your home is located to do a cost analysis of what the homes in your area are worth compared to what you spent on the home. And then that number that we get back is what helps determine what that down payment looks like if you're wrapping the land up into your loan. It gets very tricky, but this is why meeting with a homeownership counselor is so important. We also have independent loan officers that service each one of our branches through our in-house. So if you have very specific questions like that, most often than not, your homeownership counselor will link you up with that direct loan officer. So you can ask all of those questions and get those sorted out before we kind of get further in the process than maybe what you're comfortable with.
Perfect. That's it. We're caught up. Got all the questions
Wonderful.
answered.
Well, we'll see if any more comes through. We will let it play all the way through till the end. And then, yeah, if anybody has any other questions, they could be simple or complicated, doesn't matter. Otherwise, yeah, I would definitely urge meeting with your homeownership counselor, or if you already have, and you have more questions, email them. Most of us are very much open to our emails. We live with our phones, so you'll definitely get a response from them. It is a very cute house. I was very happy to work with these customers, and it was very nice because our personalities did mesh very well, because I'm also a very symmetric person. So then we're able to like look at this line, and do you want your windows to line up on the top? How does this look? Yeah.
I love it. I also love, I think it's a perfect example of like just minimal upgrades, updating the whole look, because they were so smart with their upgrades and how they spent their money, and so many standards kind of intermingled with their upgrades, and it just gives the whole thing this upgraded look.
Yeah, I mean, they had a goal in mind when they were designing. They had a certain budget, and we stayed within that budget. So, and this pricing is pretty accurate. So, I mean, they didn't go crazy. Yeah, they only spent 45,000 in upgrades, which is really simple, and that it's nice because they got all of those great finishes, and they actually signed their contract for less than 310,000. So it is a great example of designing a beautiful home while still staying within the standard products of Adair. It's a great example.
I love that. Yep.
All right, did any other questions come through, or?
Nope.
Perfect. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope you got a lot out of the presentation. And then from there, we will give you back the rest of your Thursday. And I hope everybody has a great rest of their week.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Katie.